is a new series that I'm starting. I always wanted to have like a segment in my YouTube playlist where I have like, you know, a sit down, real talk with my audience, my community, you know, with the girls. And I just came up with this title, so I'm gonna call this Chit Chat, Yap, and Clap. I feel like that's so cute. Chit Chat, Yap, and Clap. I'm going to be chit-chatting with you guys about different topics. I'm going to be yapping my mouth away because I don't talk a lot. I'm very like chill, very quiet, and I keep my thoughts to myself. I mostly write things down in my notes and in my journal, but I'm going to be yapping a little bit more in 2025. And the clap, I'm going to be clapping it up for myself, for wins, for things that I'm now learning and discovering or relearning, and even things that I haven't quite learned, but I have learned a lesson from it. So I think that's going to be the title of this series, and I'm excited. We're going to call this episode 1 of Chit Chat, Yap, and Clap. So welcome back. If you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. I want you to stay along for this journey, and I'm so happy you're here. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for supporting your girl. And yeah, I'm expecting great things this year. If you're new here, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Marika, but I go by MJ on the internet. The MJ is for Marika JC. I am also known as JC, my middle name. I'm literally saying my whole name on here, but I'm also known as JC by my close friends and family, and I'm known by Marika by just like friends and colleagues and school peeps and stuff like that. A little backstory: when I was younger, I actually hated my first name, Marika. I did not like it for some reason, so I made everybody call me JC, and I literally grew up as JC being my first name, even though it was my middle name. Even though I think my dad told me one time that JC was actually supposed to be my first name, but they mixed it up on my birth certificate. How do you do that? I don't know, but I just clinged more to JC. But as I got older and as I migrated to the US, I had to be called Marika at school. So I got comfortable with Marika, and then I wanted to be called Marika like in general by everybody. So I kind of like switched back my name to be Marika. But fast forward to now, some people call me Marika and some people call me JC. So I just go by MJ on the internet. I'm a little stuffy right now because I have a little cold. But yeah. Now I love my name, and I love both names. I love all my names, and I kind of grew into it, and that's who I am now. I have a lot of topics that I want to like discuss in this series, but I think episode 1, I'm going to refer back to my notes for the topic. And when I tell you I have a lot of topics, I have a lot of topics because I write everything down, and I also was a blogger, so I have a lot of like content from my blog that I think is still useful for today. So I'm gonna like bring some of those topics in, so if you're here for that, stick around. Before I jump into the topic that I wrote down like years or months ago, I wanted to discuss my 3 words for 2025, and I thought about these words when I went to bed last night, which is crazy, and hopefully I remember them. Okay, the first one was boundaries, the second one was determination, and the third one, boldness. Those are my 3 words for 2025, or at least for now. I usually add more words on, but for right now, those are my 3 words. And the reason why I chose those words is because for myself, I feel like I allow a lot of things from a lot of people just because I'm a nice person, and sometimes I just let people just take advantage of the situation. And I realized that I need to set boundaries, and setting boundaries is not a bad thing, even though people try to make it seem like it's a bad thing, because you're letting them know what you're not going to be accepting anymore. But I say this with love: set your boundaries, sis, okay? Because if you don't, people just gonna feel like they can say whatever to you, do whatever to you, and act however they want towards you, and you're supposed to accept it, and that's not how it goes. In 2025, we're not just accepting anything. You're not gonna speak to me however you want, and you're not gonna make me feel less valuable than I am. You know what I mean? And that goes for literally everyone and everything in my life. I feel like boundaries are going to be set, and they're going to be set with love, but they're going to be set, and people just need to understand that. So boundaries is the first word. I chose determination as my second word because I feel like this year I'm determined to go after everything that I want. And I started my journey to 100K on Instagram. I'm just using this as an example. I started my journey to 100K on Instagram, my Delulu series, right? Delulu is the Salulu, right? AKA being delusional about my dreams. And one of the reasons why I wanted to hit 100K was just to show people who look like me, people who feel like me, like small creators, that, you know, if you put in the work, you can reap the benefits. You can do anything you put your mind to. And what I've learned is that when you're determined to do something, that gives you an extra push and an extra drive to go after your goals even harder. The way that I'm going after it, like, I'm not afraid to be seen trying to reach my goals. So that's one of the reasons why I chose determination. And also, I feel like as I get older, like, I just had a birthday, so I'm a year older now. So like, as I get older, I feel like now is the time where I need to figure out exactly where I want to go with my life, and figure out what I want to do, and be determined to get there, and keep trying to get there where I want to be. Not because of anybody else or what anybody else think I should be doing, but what I think I should be doing. So that's why I chose determined. The last one, which is boldness. I feel like I chose boldness because I just want to be bold in my thoughts, bold in my content, bold in my lifestyle, just bold in everything that I do. Like, not be bold-faced, like, actually be bold-faced, but not in like a rude, like, you know, crazy way. But I want to be bolder about everything that I want. Those are my 3 words, and I feel like they're good choices. So like I told you guys, I used to be a blogger, and I don't know if you guys, some of you guys may follow me from then, but I used to be a blogger, so I always like saved all of my my blog posts to my notes, and I was reviewing it yesterday. That's why the thought with this series came to play. I was reviewing it yesterday, and I was like, you know what, I should start a series just talking about these things, and come up with new topics as well. So the first one is take responsibility. And it's crazy because I was just sharing this with my husband the other day. We were having a conversation like about our relationship and stuff like that. Our relationship is definitely not perfect, but we are determined to work towards it and try to be the best towards each other that we can be. But that's not what this is about, okay? This is about this topic, and this is about my chit chat, yap, and clap series. I wrote this down. It's called Take Responsibility, and then I had these bullet points, and it was understand is the first one, acknowledge, plan, change, build / rebuild, grow, and love. Those 7 points I wrote down, and I'm not sure if I got inspiration from these or I just wrote these straight from the dome, but while I was reviewing it, I was like, these are really good things that I wrote down here. Like, this could really help somebody. So I think that I should be sharing more of my writings because I be deep sometimes, okay? And Trust me, you're gonna be leaving here with something today. First point, understand. Taking the time to hear how others feel, not taking it as an attack, but just as a form of expression. Understanding that you may not agree 100%, but that doesn't give you the right to disregard what is being said. Include or involve asking questions for clarity if needed. So I believe that when I wrote take responsibility, it was not only talking about taking responsibility in your own actions and in yourself, but taking responsibility in relationships, in friendships. If you've done something wrong or that person have done something wrong, you have to first understand, take time to understand what that issue was, what was done, and see how it can be resolved, right? Because majority of the times when you get into something with somebody, you don't take the time to understand. You kind of just go off of your feelings. Feelings are the worst thing to go off of. It's good to have feelings, but if you're just going off of straight off feelings, nothing is going to get resolved, because everybody wants to feel good and everybody wants to feel like they're the right person. So if you're going off of feelings, then it's not going to work. So you have to take the time first to understand each other, understand what issues you guys both have, what part you both played in the situation, and then go from there. Next, you have to acknowledge, and this is what I wrote. After understanding the person's point of view, take responsibility for your actions. Apologize, see a need for an apology, and say, I'm sorry. Know that something is wrong, needs to be fixed. Admit and let go of pride. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Letting go of the pride is probably the hardest part for me. And just thinking back to fallen friendships that I've had in the past, if I took these steps, maybe it would have been resolved better. But I think for some of them, I kind of acted fast and like was quick to like write the person off. After I wrote them off, then I was thinking like, okay, maybe I could have done this. Maybe we could have talked this out. Maybe we could have did this. And sometimes it may be too late for that. Or sometimes pride is just in the way and you're just like, you know what? If they're not trying to resolve nothing and they're not trying to say sorry, why am I? Why should I be the first one to say sorry? And that's your pride. If you truly want to resolve something, if you truly want to see something come to a close, all that negativity go away, you gotta first understand, you gotta acknowledge what the issues were. Okay, and you both have to acknowledge it, not just one party. And sometimes it's hard because both parties are not gonna acknowledge it. You know how they say when you forgive somebody, you're doing it for yourself, you're setting yourself free. That's the way you should look at it, like literally every situation, because you're holding on to something and you're being upset while that person's probably just going about living their day, doing whatever they're doing. And you're here upset, holding that in your heart. Nothing is being resolved when that happens. When you're acknowledging, make sure that you're understanding each other's point of view and make sure that you are taking responsibility for your actions. Not that person is taking responsibility for their actions, but you. Next part of taking responsibility is planning. Figuring out action to take to make the situation better for both sides. Give suggestions or show an effort in writing things to be different. That step, planning, I think we all miss that step. We miss that step because you're never really trying to find a resolution at the beginning of something. I think planning is super important because you're showing that person and you're showing yourself that you're giving effort into what you want to see better in the future. The next is change. Let go of the negativity that may have consumed your heart. Action. Take action. Start over with a clean slate and prepare for harvest. Taking responsibility, aka letting go of things that is holding you hostage. That hate holding you hostage. That anger holding you hostage. That pride holding you hostage. Let go. You gotta let go of things. Like I told y'all, when you forgive somebody, you're freeing yourself. When you're letting go of something, you're freeing yourself. Think about it as you're doing it for yourself and not for that other person. I'm talking in terms of if you're in a relationship or you're in a friendship. But if you're taking responsibility, when you're regarding yourself, you still gotta let go and give yourself grace. Next, build/rebuild. Establish new relationships step by step. Now it's time to have more communication. Fresh start. You now have a new opportunity and It requires a lot of work plus effort for it to last. In terms of friendship, right? Building your friendship or rebuilding a friendship can be tricky because you feel like, at first you feel like you're kind of walking on shattered glass, like you don't want to cut yourself, and you want to be extra careful because you don't want to offend the person, and you don't want to end up where you were in the past. But part of building and rebuilding that friendship is trusting yourself, you know, knowing that what you're doing, it's okay. What you're doing requires work. It's a tough thing. You're seeing the end goal. You're not letting right now consume you too much. Understand that this is a new beginning for both of you. But you're open to exploring new things now. And I'm just using the example of friendship because, like I told you guys, taking responsibility can be for friendships, relationships, and it could be for yourself. And the last one, grow. You recognize that the little sprout turned into a beautiful flower plant. Bear good fruit, now you have a great attitude. So growth is something that we all want in all aspects of our lives, right? If you want your relationship to grow, the key things is communication, because you got to be open and honest with that person, putting in the work, understanding that it takes two to tango. And if you want that relationship to grow, you got to consistently water those plants, water those flowers if you want it to bloom. That's something that I am learning in my relationship still. Sometimes it is hard because you get wrapped up in yourself and what you're doing. But sometimes you got to take a step back, see the bigger picture, which is, okay, I'm in a relationship with someone. I have a family with this person. I'm just using, I guess, myself as an example. I have a family with this person and I want to see us both grow. I want to see our relationship grow. You gotta put and kind of water that, kind of keep the balance. You can't just water yourself and not water your relationship. Usually, most times, everybody waters their relationship and forgets about themselves. You have to have a balance for both in order for both to grow, because you want to have a healthy relationship. And last but not least, we have love. So under love, I have togetherness, unity, genuine appreciation and love for one another, and walking in agreement, and compromising. Oh y'all, I be deep, okay? Yeah, I be deep sometimes. This part of taking responsibility, love. Give love, you get love, right? Give love, you get love. Period. I don't even have to elaborate on that. Give love, you get love. And love isn't just something you just make up. Love runs deep. Love is real. Love is genuine. Love is real. Some of the things that I've learned for myself about taking responsibility is that your actions matter. Taking responsibility requires you to build and rebuild. It requires you to understand, and that is something that I have learned in my life that I would say I'm going to clap it up for myself, because I have learned that and I have lived that. Save this, share this with a friend, and leave me a comment and let me know which part of this segment you loved the best, and if I should continue this series or not. Please, please, please give me some feedback. I am looking forward to reading it. And thank you so much for watching my video. And I would catch you guys in my next episode. And we're going to be chit-chatting, gapping, and clapping it up a little bit more. All right? Bye.